I am overwhelmed and speechless. God has been so merciful to our small congregation. It was impossible to construct a church building without the generous support from Mennonite World Conference and the National Churches Fellowship of Nepal and many individuals. Hello. Thank you for joining this online workshop about the Global Church Sharing Fund. The text you just heard was a citation of Pastor Shambhu Prasad Kimire from the Brethren in Christ Church in Nepal. Words spoken at the dedication of the new church building in November 11, 2021. He refers to the support of the Global Church Sharing Fund of Mennonite World Conference that supported this project. My name is Henk Stenvers, and until this assembly in Indonesia, I was the secretary of the Deacons Commission of Mennonite World Conference. MWC has installed 4 commissions doing the work of MWC between assemblies, linking the global community of Anabaptist churches for fellowship, witness, and service. These 4 commissions are the Peace Commission, the Mission Commission, the Faith and Life Commission, and the Deacons Commission. The Deacons Commission focuses on the welfare of the churches within the MWC communion, particularly in times of duress. And the Commission offers listening, prayer, encouragement, and support to churches feeling the need for brothers and sisters to walk with them in their particular need. The Commission promotes the attitude and practice of service among member churches by means of visits, teachings, and materials. One of the ways to support the member churches is the management of the Global Church Sharing Fund. Today, more than 66% of the 2.1 million Anabaptist believers live in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, what we call the Global South. MWC represents 110 national churches. That means more than 10,000 local congregations with about 1.4 million of these before mentioned 2.1 million believers. These sisters and brothers give us many gifts, renewing the life of the global church while extending God's kingdom. They are the ones who will lead in determining what it means to live as Anabaptist Christians in the 21st century. And of these 1.4 million, about 75% now live in the Global South. Sadly enough, deepening economic disparity accompanies this wonderful global transformation. Most numerical growth in our worldwide family of faith is taking place among people who are financially poor. 73% of our wealth, our economic wealth, remains in the hands of North Americans and Europeans. Inspired by the biblical teaching of Jubilee, in Leviticus 25, for example, Mennonite World Conference set up the Global Church Sharing Fund in 1997. The aim is to put into action the Apostle Paul's words to the Corinthians. There is no question of relieving others at the cost of hardship to yourselves. It is a question of equality. At the moment, your surplus meets their need. But one day, your need may be met from their surplus. The aim is equality, as Scripture has it. Those who gathered more did not have too much, and those who gathered less did not have too little. 2 Corinthians 8, verse 13 to 15. MWC wants to support churches in the Global South with this fund to advance the life of MWC member churches, to redistribute wealth in the biblical spirit of Jubilee, and to celebrate the vitality and growth of Anabaptist churches in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The fund is filled with contributions from organizations, local churches, and individuals, all from the global north. And when MWC receives an application for support from the fund from a member church in the global south, this application is reviewed by the General Secretary of MWC, the Chair and Secretary of the Deacons Commission, and an advisor from MCC. They decide if and for how much the proposal from the church will be supported. Of course, there are certain criteria used to consider an application. The application is related to and enhances the 4 pillars of church life: fellowship, worship, service, and witness. And the fund can support member churches in case of need after natural or human-made disasters. The church itself should also contribute to the endeavor, at least for 30% of the costs. The amount that the church requests should not exceed more than $10,000. But in some cases, like natural disasters, this maximum can be exceeded. A church will be eligible for 1 grant in a 3-year period. And of course, we do not want to cause problems within the national church by supporting projects of local churches without the national church approving. So local churches can only get support if the national church, to which they belong, has approved the project. So we ask that the leader of the national church co-signs the application. And every church that receives support is expected to write a report after the endeavor is finished. And when the support is for building a church or something like that, the church is asked to send an interim report when 50% of the project is finished. Since the start of the fund, we have been able to support many projects in many countries. Since 2008, some 70 projects were supported in 28 countries in the Global South, and some projects of national or even global associations. There are several ways the Global Church Sharing Fund has supported the churches. For example, the Mennonite Church in Uganda is a relatively young church. They do not have many church buildings, so they asked support to build a church and offices in Mukono. The Global Church Sharing Fund supported the church in buying the land in 2019. And in 2022, we were able to support the church with erecting a brick-built church building. Having a place for the conference office and having a church building helps to grow the church to grow in maturity. In 2018, the Global Church Sharing Fund supported the costs of the meeting of MTAL, the Mennonite women theologians in Latin America. They came together in Honduras. 38 Mennonite women theologians gathered there for 3 days, and they came from Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Colombia, and the United States, to study, to share, and to worship, and in that way strengthening the bond between especially the women in Latin and Central America. In 2021, the Mennonite Church in Cuba asked for help. Due to economic hardship in the country, it was not possible anymore to pay pastors a good wage. So the Global Church Sharing Fund supported the church to provide economic support. This project does not solve the economic problems, but it shows to the church that the global family of faith wants to walk with them and that they are not forgotten. In 2017, there was a severe flood in Peru that hit areas where there are Mennonite churches. The Global Church Sharing Fund was asked to support flood relief projects from the church, and the Global Church Sharing Fund approved that. In October 2017, the Deacons Commission delegation visited the area to show solidarity and to see what has been done with the support. The churches were very enthusiastic and felt supported and seen by the global church. And in 2016, a year before that, a heavy earthquake hit Ecuador. The Global Church Sharing Fund supported via the church a number of pastors' family who were severely hit by the earthquake. After visiting Peru, the same delegation also went to Ecuador to visit in solidarity and to see what happened with the support. Also, the Global Church Sharing Fund supported several translation projects, where books like From Anabaptist Seed or What We Believe Together are translated into local languages. Or we sent support to the Mennonite Church in Myanmar for food relief. Or we supported legal initiatives from the Wuan people, Mennonite Brethren of Panama, to take steps in their struggle against illegal logging that is happening in the area. In Angola, the Global Church Sharing Fund supported the expansion of a school building of one of the churches to make sure that the school could receive government approval and subsidies. And in Congo, the Global Church Sharing Fund helped one of the conferences to buy computer equipment for the office. And the last example is the church building in Yigiribata in Odisha in India. In this very poor region, it was possible to erect a small community building for worship and other activities. In a festive meeting in November 2019, this church was dedicated. For the people in this congregation living in a rural area which is not reached easily, the presence of a representative of the Deacons Commission of MWC made them feel part of the global family. The Global Church Sharing Fund is an instrument to show solidarity. It is about sharing gifts, about sharing the economic wealth in the global north with the global south. Following Christ is also sharing what you have with sisters and brothers that have less, so they can share what they have. So if you are watching this video and you live in the global north, we encourage you to donate generously to the Global Church Sharing Fund through the website of Mennonite World Conference. Thank you for watching this video.